Hey everybody, it's Gomladex and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today I'll be playing another early access draft of March of the Machine. So thank you very much to Wizards of the Coast for providing me with this early access account. Without further ado, let's just get into the draft of the brand new format. Alright, here we are for our pack 1 pick 1. We've got Wrenn and Realmbreaker, which is a pretty nice looking planeswalker. 3 mana for a 4 loyalty planeswalker, makes all of your lands tap for a mana of any color. You can +1 to have one of your lands become a 3/3 Vigilance Hexproof Haste till your next turn. It doesn't untap the land, which is important to know. You can -2 to mill 3, then put a permanent from the milled cards into your hand. You can -7 to play lands from graves. So actually not the strongest planeswalker ever. Mainly just keeps making a 3/3, I guess. And it doesn't even make one, it's just one of your lands becomes a 3/3 till end of turn. That's actually not the craziest thing ever. What about our other rare, the one from the Multiverse Legends? We have Erixmathy's Slumbering Isle. 4 mana for a tapped 12/12 with 5 slumber counters. Whenever you cast a spell, you can remove a slumber counter from it. Taps for green-blue. That seems pretty fun. Really slow, but that actually seems more fun than Wrenn and Realmbreaker for me. I'm going to go for the Multiverse Legend here. Go for Erixmathy's, the Slumbering Isle. Just try to cast enough spells to remove those counters from it and just make it a 12/12. No matter what, it's 4 mana to just get a land that taps for green and blue. So it could be good in a ramp deck if we have some really big stuff to ramp into. Multiverse Legend here is Firya, Judge of Valor, which is not the greatest thing ever. It's good if you have a really aggressive curve in your black-white deck, but it's pretty far off from an Erixmathy's deck. We could take Invasion of Pyrulia here, which has a great Enter the Battlefield effect. This is one of the new battle cards, so we play this. Scry 3, reveal the top card of our library. If it's a land or double-faced card, we draw a card, so that's our 2 mana worth of value right there. And then if we manage to deal 4 damage to this, and our opponent can block to help us, to stop us from damaging it, then we do flip it into a Gargantuan Slabhorn, which is a big 4/4 trample word too. So I think this card's actually pretty sweet. Go for Invasion of Pyrulia here. Just start heavily in the Simic color pair right now. Got a Valduk, Keeper of Flames, or Keeper of the Flame, from the Multiverse Legends. I actually think there's a lot of really good, really efficient equipment in this format. So Valduk actually looks really sweet. That being said, Valduk doesn't go with either of our first 2 picks, but the best cards to go with those are probably Timberland Ancient, which can be the Forest Cycler to help get a land, or the big card to ramp into, or Tidal Terror, which is basically the same thing. Just a big card to ramp into, or the card that can help us get the land. So I could just fully commit to just Simic ramp stuff, or speculate towards maybe red aggro equipment nonsense. I'm going to take a Valduk here. I don't want to get married yet. I'm still young. Pack 1, pick 4. Don't see any good red equipment or just red aggro stuff. We do see a Fearless Scald. That's probably decent in aggro. The backup ability lets us put a +1/+1 counter on any creature we control. If we put it on a creature other than Fearless Scald, that creature gains double strike till end of turn, so it can find a lot of extra damage out of nowhere. Probably just take a blue card, though, to go with our green-blue stuff. I don't think that's the greatest card to go with Valduk. It seems fine. Kind of like Oracle of Tragedy. Nice flexible card. 2 mana for 1/3, draw a card, discard a card. Then when you chump block with it, you draw a card and discard a card again. So 2 mana for 1/3, draw 2, discard 2 is some pretty good looting, some pretty good digging right there. So it's the best card to go with anything remotely on color. The best individual card in the pack might be the Huntmaster. That's a great sack ability, but I don't want to bounce around all over the place here. Alright, well here's the equipment that are great with Valduk. We have the Beamtown Beatstick, which can give menace and the ability to make some treasure tokens, and we have the Mirren Banesplitter, which can be played at instant speed, gives it a decent buff there. And for blue-green ramp, we have Blighted Burgeoning or Afara's Dispersal. So a bounce spell or a decent ramp card, but nothing incredible. These are really cool cards to go with Valduk, but I think these will probably go pretty late because I don't think anybody else is super into them. And there's also just really good removal here in black. Collective Nightmare and Final Flourish. Black might just be wide open. I actually don't know which of these is better. They're both excellent. I think I'm going to take Final Flourish. So if we end up in black, it'll probably be like black-red Valduk stuff, and Final Flourish works excellently with Valduk, where we can sack the token that Valduk makes to give -6/-6, or we can sacrifice one of our equipment to do the same, because it sacks an artifact or a creature. Alright, well here's a phenomenal card to ramp into. 8 mana, 8/8 trample hexproof. It's going to be hard to get me to not take that. That's just a really, really fun card to try to get at the top end of your curve. You just know your opponent can't kill it unless they have Death Touch. Hexproof is one hell of an ability to have on an 8 mana 8/8. Now we have Astral Wingspan. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card and it gives enchanted creature +2/+2 flying. Seems solid for the green-blue. Although there's Deadly Derision in black still? It feels like I'm really supposed to be in black. This feels probably a little better than Wingspan. Not by a lot, but Deadly Derision is ridiculous. 4 mana instant, destroy any creature or planeswalker and get a treasure. I don't know what we're doing here. We have 2 decks. We have Rakdos Aggro and Simic Ramp. Alright, pack 1, pick 8. Now, I don't think Wicked Slumber is very good in a more defensive deck. Well, I guess because it's instant speed, it's not bad. But I think it's better when you're more aggressive. Greatsword's a really, really good equipment. You can convoke it out early, and then it's only 2 mana to move it around. 2 mana to move around +3/+1 tramples. Pretty excellent. +3/+1 is a large enough stat bonus to make even 1/1s incredibly relevant later in the game. You make them 4/2s with trample. So I think that's an excellent equipment for our Valduk deck, and we're just going to keep getting Vanquish the Weeks incredibly late. That's a pick 9 Vanquish the Week now. I think I like that better than Shatter the Source, which is a really nice like convoke removal spell. But we'll take the Vanquish. Probably pushing to black-red just because it looks a bit more open. Yeah, I mean, this is where we're really going to start seeing that. None of these are great. Ren's Resolve is fine card draw in red, and Furnace Gremlin's fine because it replaces itself, so it's good in the sack deck where you want 2 bodies off of 1 card. I think I'll take the Furnace Gremlin there. Yeah, there's definitely a higher quantity of black and red in these final packs than green-blue. The quality's not that much different. Like, we got a late Copper Host Pressure. I guess it is an 8-drop, and recent draft formats have been really aggressive, so people might just be averse to running 8-mana cards. But I think there is some really good ramp in this format to help try to get there. And if you do resolve this, if you don't die the turn you resolve it, it's gonna turn the game around. It's massive. That being said, our black-red pile is actually just starting to look insane because the amount of removal we have. Yeah, and we wield the completed Huntmaster for black-red sacrifice. Sack any creature or artifact to incubate 3. That means get an incubator with 3 counters on it. We spend 2 mana to flip it into just a 3/3, so basically get a 3/3 off that. That is really good. Really, really good sack outlet. I've got to put a counter on the Depth Guard for it to do something, but it's pretty good if I do. I don't really like the Oil Caster. I don't think I'm playing either. I'm just going to slam the Depth Guard into the sideboard, and we did wheel one of the equipment, which I definitely want. Some cheap equipment to go with Valduk. Historian looks fine. I think there's probably more exciting 2-mana creatures to take, though. Get a Furnace Host Charger. That's a fine card at the top end of your curve. Ooh, and now we got a Bladed Battle Fan. Yeah, we'll get all the equipment. All right. Yeah, we're in a good spot for red-black equipment. / sacrifice. A lot of the sacrifice effects in this format can let you sacrifice a creature or an artifact. So instead of running combat tricks, being able to play these equipment like Bladed Battle Fan and Mirren Banesplitter that are instant speed gives us basically combat tricks that also potentially trigger Valduk and potentially get sacrificed to completed Huntmaster. So I think those kind of equipment are excellent in this deck. Here I'm going to take the really excellent removal spell. Stoke the Flames, 4 mana instant, 4 to any target, and it convokes, so we can cast it for really cheap. Super, super good. I think Collective Nightmare is also quite good, as is Quintorius Lore Master. We could try to splash in Quintorius. Could definitely get a little bit of treasure tokens in this color pair. Maybe try to find a red-white duel, but I'm going to try to stay really, really focused on this red-black sack archetype and see kind of how it plays out generally. I've already got a lot of excellent removals, so I don't think I want failed conversion. It's a bit slow. I think Ral's reinforcements could be pretty good for us, getting 2 cards off of this 1 sorcery, 2 creatures to sack. Now we have the Beamtown Beatstick, which is pretty cool. Really strong 5-color rare, but we're not really going for that right now, are we? I don't think so. This Beatstick does seem really nice, giving menace and the ability to produce treasures. Pretty powerful. We can sack those treasures for good value. I'll take the Beatstick because we didn't wheel the last Beatstick. I'd like to have at least one in this deck, and it seems like somebody in this draft pod is a fan of that card, so they'll scoop it up if I pass it on. All right, pack 2, pick 4. Javelineer seems like an okay 5-mana creature. Searing Barb is an okay burn spell because it's like a burn spell and an incubator, which of course we can sacrifice that 1/1 for good value. Sort my creatures and non-creatures here. We're pretty low on creatures right now. A lot of equipment and tricks and stuff. So take the big 5/4 dork or take the Searing Barb. That's kind of like a creature. It's not really like a creature. It's like another thing we can sack. I think we're doing great on stuff to sack, so I'll take the big Javelineer. Fill out another creature in the deck. I might have to start taking those random 2-mana 1/3s with haste, because it just looks like we don't have a lot of cheap creatures in general. And that's what we really want to have, especially with Convoke. Alright, Slam Dunk, Insta-Scoop, Stormclaw Rager. Excellent sacrifice outlet for this strategy. That's beautiful. Invasion of Eldraine's fun. Yeah, pretty fun battle there. Dreg Recycler would also be incredible for this deck. I want to find some of those, but Stormclaw Rager is exactly what the doctor ordered. It is the signpost uncommon for the strategy. It is a really, really strong build around. Phenomenal with a Valdic on board, spitting out 3/1s that die in our end step anyway. If we get those 2 together, we'll be super happy, but even just getting treasures off the Beatstick or just having a random equipment left behind is going to be great. Wow, now we have Furnace Rains to steal an opposing creature to try to sacrifice it, or another completed Huntmaster. Really, really unlikely to wheel this. It would be pick 14, because we're on pick 6 right now. Pick 13 or pick 14. We're not going to get any of these cards back. I think I have a lot of good just straight up removals, so I'm going to... Yeah, I think I have good enough straight up removal to not need to steal and sack my opponent's creature. I'm going to take another Huntmaster. I would really like both of those cards, and I guess I'll get them. I'll get a Furnace Rains out of this pack. But anyway, I think my creature count's low enough I have to just take the creature over the Furnace Rains there. Luckily, we got another one here. Furnace Rains is really, really good in this format. In the red-black sacrifice deck, because you can steal your opponent's creature to sacrifice it, and if the creature manages to hit your opponent or one of the battles, you get a treasure token, then you still sack the creature, and you have a treasure to sacrifice later as well. Furnace Rains is awesome. So the deck is shaping up to be really powerful right now. We just need to spend the entirety of pack 3 slam dunking every creature we see. Alright, no creatures in this pack, so we'll take Corrupted Conviction. Likely to get cut because we have a lot of better ways to sacrifice creatures between Huntmaster and Stormclaw Rager, I think. That's just one of the least flexible ways to do it because that's all it does. It's just a one-time sack a creature, do a thing. These are repeatable and they're creatures themselves, even if we don't have the sacrificial fodder. Another Searing Barb. I'd rather just take a random dorky flyer, just to have more creatures in the deck, as I've been saying. That's what we are really missing out on. No creatures here either. I definitely don't need more combat tricks. Take a Sculpted Perfection in case I can splash white. It's technically like another creature, and it's pretty good with a bunch of incubation, which we kind of have going on with the double Huntmaster kind of stuff. Nobody's trying to play Kahira. Nobody's on the Cat Elemental Nightmare Dinosaur Beast deck. Take another Mirror and Bane Splitter. I'll let somebody have the Omnath if they think they can make it to the 5 color. Go for it. I believe in you. Oh, we are in desperate need of creatures out of this last pack. Let's see what we've got. Deadly Derision versus Timoret and Skittering Surveyor. I think I need creatures badly enough to take Timoret, even though Timoret's a bit difficult to cast, and Deadly Derision is excellent interaction. I'm doing solid on interaction, I'm doing terribly on creatures. 8. Yeah, we're going to take a Timoret here. Alright, no 2-mana creatures here. Another excellent piece of interaction with Stoke the Flames, but I think again I need to take a creature. So I'm going to take Harried Artisan. 3 mana, 2/3 haste. For 3 mana, we can pay 2 life and flip it into a 3/4 flying haste. Seems like the best creature in this pack. Better than Slasher or Furnace Host Ravager. I want to take the Stoke the Flames so bad. Pygam's really cool, but we're pretty far from that. Take another creature, Harried Artisan. We are at 10 creatures now in the deck. At a pack 3, pick 3 Shieldred. That is 5 mana, 4/5 menace. When they enter the battlefield, each opponent sacks a non-token creature planeswalker. If they have 8 or more cards in grave, we can flip Shieldred into the True Scriptures, which does a bunch of monstrous stuff. I'm going to take Shieldred there. That's a pretty big Mega Bomb. I'd love to take a 2-drop creature over a 5-drop creature, but when the 5-drop creature is literal, actual, factual Shieldred, I guess we'll scoop that up. All right, this is where things really start shaping up for us. This is the pack where we find all the creatures we need. I'd love to take Furnace Gremlin or Scornblade Berserker for mana curve purposes, but I think that Voldaren Thrillseeker is a very powerful card as well. You can put the counters on itself, where it's a 3 mana 3/3 you can sack to deal 3 to anything, but you could also put the counters on something else, hit them for 2 more damage, and then sack that to deal damage where you need it. So I think Thrillseeker is powerful enough to just be all 3 mana creatures right now. Now I can go ahead and take another Rouse Reinforcements for basically another 2 mana creature. Good with all our sack abilities. No creatures here. I guess there's an Oil Caster. I would really rather not play that though. Do I play a Shatter the Source over that? Or a Ren's Resolve over that? At 12 creatures? Probably not. I'll take the Oil Caster. Now we have 2 different creatures. Hanger Scrounger with a solid backup ability, and Marauding Dreadship, which gives us 2 rectangles on 1 card, which is good for a sack card. Gives us both the vehicle and the 2/2 creature to crew it. I think two permanents off of 1 card is important for Rakdos sacks. I'll take the Dreadship. Ooh. Yuri, Master of the Review. 2 mana 1/1. Whenever you sack a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on it. When it dies, deal damage equal to its power to any target. Definitely the coolest looking card in the pack. We get to see the Ravnica card style, which is super neat. Gift of Completion might be equally powerful, if not better, but Yuri's way cooler. We're taking that. It's really nice in our archetype. I think I can cut Kite Sail now. I've got a million equipment. Cut one of the Bane Splitters. We're just cutting a lot of non-creature cards right now is what we're doing. I actually only have the 1 card that cares about equipment specifically, and that's Valduk, so I don't really think I need more than like 2 equipment. This deck definitely can cut Corrupted Conviction. I think I'll go the beat stick, and the strongest combat trick equipment is the bladed battle fan, so I'll keep that in, but I'll cut the Bane Splitter as well. Although I guess I still have the Great Sword as well for the big late game equipment. That's really good with the double rouse reinforcements. Wow, we got the frontliner to wheel? Cool, 2 mana 2/2 trample, sure. Or we could take a 5 mana 9/3. I don't want another 3 mana card though. I guess reinforcements makes 2 blue creatures to try to play the sculptor, but that seems a little too loose. Wow, we are really getting more cards. Harried Hardison, we can play over Gorilla. Gloomfang Mauler's fine, top end like the Host Charger, but I like the Harried Artisan a lot. Alright, well that last pack helped a lot. Ooh, now we have double beat stick. Spit out some treasure tokens. Have a bunch of sacrificial fodder. We have some major options at this point, which is really exciting. I'm pretty happy with everything I cut. Staying out of the deck, but now we get to cut 7 more cards. Definitely coming in hot. We have equipment, combat trick things. We have 17 creatures right now and 2 rouse reinforcements and a dreadship. So we kind of have 20 creatures. So we can cut 3 creatures. And I think we're going to cut creatures themselves rather than reinforcements and dreadship. I think both of these are great for the deck because they provide us with, again, 2 different permanents on the board towards sacrifice kind of cards. I think I keep all the 2 mana cards. Probably dropping the 2 weakest 3 mana cards. Or I could drop the Oil Caster, because I don't really like it. No, for mana curve purposes, I should probably drop 2 3 mana cards. Stormclaw Rager is out of the question. Thrill Seeker out of the question. Valduk out of the question. Harried Artisan out of the question. I guess Ichor Shade. That leaves you as the 1 3 mana card we can cut. It's fine. It's there, it gets bigger as we sack stuff, but I think it is the weakest 3 mana card. Don't really want to cut any more of them, so I guess I am cutting the Oil Caster then. Oil Caster and Ichor Shade for the 2 creatures. Coming in hot for the combat trick, we'll cut that. Final Flourish, Stoke the Flames, Deadly Derision, Vanquish the Weak, and Furnace Rains are all excellent removal. There is a 0% chance we cut those. But I have to cut 4 more cards, so I guess one of these is potentially on the chopping block here. I guess I could, relatively low curve, could cut like a Javelineer. This Host Charger is also like a 2 mana Mountain Cycler, which picks up a land. Uh-oh, Yuri's kind of seeping through the box of our Furnace Host Charger. We could cut like a land here, drop to 16, and cut a Javelineer as a 5-drop. Then I only need to cut 2 non-creature cards. Yeah, I could go 1 beat stick, 1 battle fan still, and then Vanquish the Weak might be the worst of our removal spells in this deck, because Final Flourish can pretty easily find something to sack for -6/-6. And Furnace Rains can kill anything as long as we have a sack outlet on board. Actually, reasonably, how many do we have? It might be Furnace Rains as the cut. Because I have Stormclaw Rager and 2 completed Huntmasters. Yeah, 3 sack outlets in the deck. Furnace Rains might be a little narrow there for the sack style removal spell. Sure. Cut the Furnace Rains. We'll go 16 lands, and we'll call it a deck there. I've actually gone back and I've changed my mind. We still have 2 equipment with Greatsword Beat Stick. I'm just going to cut this Battle Fan. If I have a ton of removal, I don't need the combat tricky equipment, so I'm going to cut that and still play the Active Treason, the Steel Effect, the Furnace Rains. Alright, now we've got a deck. Alright, here's a look at the completed deck for today. A really sweet looking Rakdos aggro sacrifice deck. We have a really aggressive curve of creatures in general. Timoret, Furnace Gremlin, Threshing Frontliner, and Yuri, as well as 2 copies of Ral's Reinforcements to help us go wide. These can both cast our Convoke cards nice and quickly, like Stoke the Flames and Ramosian Greatsword. And they can also be used as sacrificial fodder. We then have 2 completed Huntmasters for great ways to sacrifice our creatures and equipment or treasure tokens, anything like that. 2 Harried Artisan for more aggro dorks. Valduk, which is great with the 2 equipment that we're running. Voldaren Thrillseeker for a solid rare, 3 mana 3/3 that we can sack for 3 to any target. And Stormclaw Rager for a really good sacrifice effect to utilize all our 1/1 tokens and leftover treasure tokens and all that kind of stuff. With those sack outlets, we've got a Furnace Reigns to steal an opposing creature and sacrifice it against our opponent. When we go to the top end of our curve, we've got a nice Menace threat, a big Hasty threat that can be mountain cycled early game if we don't have enough lands, and our biggest bomb rare, Sheoldred, to make our opponent sacrifice something when she enters the battlefield and just be a 4/5 Menacer. Already excellent, and if we ever exile and transform Sheoldred into the True Scriptures, it should be monumentally difficult to lose that game. For our non-creature spells, we have a suite of excellent removal between Final Flourish, Vanquish the Weak, Furnace Reigns, Deadly Derision, and Stoke the Flames, as well as we said before, a couple equipment, one of which can produce us some treasure tokens to sacrifice. The other one is just a really big equipment. And then a Marauding Dreadship as well, which can give us 2 permanents off of this 1 card, which helps give us a pretty wide board state, give us some more expendable cards to sacrifice, as well as just give us some good aggressive bodies. So really sweet looking, really fun deck today. Without further ado, let's head into the gameplay and see how it does. Here we are on the draw for game 1. Definitely a keepable hand here. We have 2 of our pretty powerful, I was going to say our pretty powerful legends, but really our pretty powerful build arounds. The Stormclaw Rager is technically not a legendary creature, so that would be inaccurate. But turn 2 Jury with one of our sack outlets. I think it's Yuri. I think it's like pronounced like the Russian way or whatever. It's Yuri, Master of the Review. I'm not sure. Opponent has blue, red, and white mana already, nice and quickly. So Yuri's just going to be a 2 mana 1/1 for a while here, but with a good death trigger at least. Ooh. Any battle that provides you with some creatures to attack the battle with, gonna put your opponent a bit behind for sure. Yeah, we gotta find some ways to stop these Krakens from hitting this and flipping it into that nice 3/3 that untaps all their creatures during their end step and gives all their spells Convoke. Yeah, that's pretty scary. I guess just they're non-creatures, but nonetheless, certainly a scary card. I could just play 2 1/1s of my own. Wouldn't be the most mana efficient thing I could do, because if I hit a land, I can play both of these the turn after that. I think just playing a 2/3 haste is fine and just not attacking with it. Or just playing a Rager. Yeah, I kind of like playing a Rager, because it still blocks the 1/1s just as well, and I can, if I don't hit another mana and they don't kill the Rager, I can play Reinforcements and I can sack one of them to draw a card. Make the use of all 3 of my mana and get a +1/+1 counter on Yuri at the same time, while digging for the 4th land by drawing an extra card. I think this gives us a pretty nice backup play next turn, or if I don't hit the land, I'm still definitely going to want it. We have a great 4 mana removal spell and a great 6-drop. I can dig for it with this. And I don't want to mountain cycle the Furnace Host Charger because another mountain's a little redundant here. We really want the 2nd swamp more than anything else to be our 4th land. And then I don't need lands after the 2nd swamp if I've cycled the Charger, because it's the most expensive card in my hand. That's the only reason I would need more than 4. So I'm not going to be cycling the Charger. Plus, even if I did want to cycle it, ideally we try to cycle it later and keep committing cards to the board first, impacting the board state as well as we can. So I did top deck the Swamp. So I'm not sure what I do here, because now I don't have to sack a 1/1. I could just play Reinforcements and hold up the Flourish. That seems fine. I guess if I do sack a 1/1, I can attack with the Rager, which seems good. But then I'm not holding up Final Flourish, which seems bad. Really just depends on what they have, and being -6 days into the format or whatever, I have no idea. Stoke the Flames is what they have. Well, I can't... I could sacrifice the Rager to my Final Flourish, but there's nothing to kill with it anyway, so... can't really respond to that. I just have to let it happen. In that case, I think we're just passing. Meeting of the Minds. Our opponent's going to go ahead and draw 2. Looks like they didn't hit a 5th land. Kind of wild. That means their hand is like all gas though, which is not cool for me. Drop a Dreadship here. Let's start actually attacking them, shall we? Should still hold a 1/1 to protect this battle. Island cycling their Tidal Terror, so they kind of drew a land, they just had to spend some mana to get it. Now a Joyful Storm Sculptor. They've got a super wide board state. This is not a great matchup for us because their board is just going to get so cluttered so frequently. I'll go 1 for 1. 1/1 for 1/1. 2 mana to flip this Incubator. So 3 mana to do whatever. I guess they don't have any flyers, so if I play the Artisan, we can flip it as a flyer next turn and start chipping in with that. Tygam, Ojutai Master. Instant, sorcery, and dragons can't be countered. Whenever they cast an instant or sorcery, if it attacked, that spell gains a rebound, which means they exile it and then recast it in their next upkeep. That is very impressive. I think I'm willing to sacrifice something to kill that. Question is, do I sacrifice a 1/1, or do I sacrifice the Incubator, or do I sack the 4/1? I think I sack a 1/1. Yeah, because then all my stuff's big enough to crew the Dreadship, which means I kind of do like it. Because yeah, everything on my board is going to be 2 power now. Definitely crew the Dreadship, as well as have 3 creatures on board with high enough toughness to block all the 1/1s. Are they going to convoke their own removal spell on the Artisan now? Another Stoke the Flames? Oh yeah, that is very good. Oh, this has more text? Yeah, every time they convoke something, they're dealing damage to us and their battles. That's very good. Yeah. Double Stoke it is. Furnace Rains is the draw. I don't have any of my sack outlets right now. They've killed one of them. We have 2 more in the deck. I guess we're just flipping a token. And that's it. So I hold my mana up because I can still flip my token at instant speed if I want to have it up as a blocker, and this way I get to hold up Deadly Derision until I have to flip it. Eyes of Gataxius. That card is great. They get a 3/3 Incubator and they draw a card. So 5 mana 3/3 draw a card, but they get to spread the mana out however they want to. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing a particularly great job defending this invasion for the rest of this game, so I think let's just find some kills on their 1/1s while we can and let them flip it. I could have traded my Dreadship and a Sculptor, that's probably better. But this way I lose 0 creatures, which is also good. This seems fine, losing 0 creatures theoretically. But I probably should have crewed the Dreadship with the Incubator or crewed the Dreadship with the Yuri. Alright, never mind. So they would have just first striked away the Dreadship and kept the Storm Sculptor on board anyway, if that's the play here. Although I guess Segovia would not be flipped yet. Yeah, it would have been a better block the other way around, but we still would have got by the removal spell with a combat trick. Still have more gas. Oh my god, so much more gas. Yeah, now that everything has Convoke, Storm Sculptor just completely pops off. Well, there's one card to sacrifice. $18 life, I'm going to take 1,000,000 damage here. Guess I can Derision the Cadus, Sea Tyrant of Segovia. Then I don't have the mana up to do anything else. I'm mostly dealing with a bunch of 1/1s. But this Spell Stalker's a problem too. Yeah, I don't really think I have any great lines here. I guess if I'm just planning on killing the Sea Tyrant anyway, then I can play this and crew the Dreadship and then kill it to have another blocker up. And then still have Derision for something else. Four mana to flip that. Yep, they're gonna flip it. Transform the Incubator as well. This means they're tapped out. They could still have an instant with Convoke. Let's see. Show me your instant with Convoke. They do not show me instant with Convoke, so... Could trade Yuri off, kill that and the Storm Sculptor, then they just have 4 1/1s to deal with. Or Yuri. Did I say Jury again? God dang it. I don't think that's worth it though, because I'm about to get a treasure token. Which will then make Yuri a 4/4 to be able to beat the 3/3 without dying. There's a great sword off the top. Not great here. Yeah, we're on instant speed, Deadly Derision. Blow up one of their creatures and block another one with Yuri. No. I guess if I Derision that, when its ability goes on the stack, then Yuri won't get exiled, and I get to keep all my counters. That feels pretty important. And now they know that Yuri's not exiled, and I have a treasure token on board, so if they attack with a 3/3, I can sack it, make Yuri a 4/4. Why would they still attack? That's pretty frustrating, because now I have to do this. But I actually kind of wanted to keep the treasure. To play this Furnace Host Charger, but I thought they would just definitely not attack there because I had the free, just make it a 4/4. But they still attacked, so I had to sack it. Well, we get another creature. Now we just keep playing creatures down and getting ready to block 1/1s. Surprised we're still in the game. There's a lot of really powerful bombs in the format, though, so they could always top deck something that's going to just crush us immediately. But if they draw a little poorly, we could start stabilizing here. Yeah, Agar, Pyretic Prankster, those are like good cards, but not excellent. Oh my god, they just had 3 more great spells here? Never mind. They're already just putting themselves in a very favored board position now. Well, there's a 5/5. What does this make me sacrifice? An artifact or creature? That's very good. If I could sacrifice any permanent, I'd just sacrifice a land to that, but... So I'll just sack a great sword. Buff up the slasher. Have more high toughness creatures right now. Furnace Gremlin. That's really, really good late in the game. Because they can fire breathe into it, and then if I trade off into it, they get a giant incubator as well. Should move this over there. No, I think I keep it on the slasher. So Furnace Gremlin's probably coming in, because they can buff it. I guess they can only buff it 3 times, so I can still block with a 5/5. Because they only have 3 red sources. I don't know if they just draw more removal. I think I have to steal and sack the Gremlin here. Four mana up afterwards. I'm not gonna have enough creatures to survive another attack. Yeah, there's just way too many 1/1s and stuff. Oh, this is pretty cool with me. Okay, now I don't have to sack it. I just go buff buff. I guess they draw a card off Agar. Currently taking 4 on board, and that's a gigantic haste off the top. Now, am I dead? No, I go to 1 life, but that was a significantly powerful draw. We need 5 blockers to survive. We have 3 if I have infinite mana. Alright, that was a rough one. That was insane. That battle, just from the start, slowed us down a ton and made it really easy for them to keep a super wide board state of 1,000,000 tokens. So, just always having a massively wide board with a bunch of Convoke stuff was quite the powerful collection of cards for our opponent there. So we're 0-1, and we are now in round 2. Definitely going to keep this hand. We don't have any 2-mana cards, so we're not starting off till turn 3. Well, unless I top deck a 2-drop. Now it's perfect. Let's see what we've got here from our opponent. Invasion of Mercadia. They get to discard a card and draw 2. So just a solid sorcery that maybe spits out a gigantic creature that does a ton of stuff. Ral's Reinforcements. Get a couple 1/1s. I don't really want to trade a Vanquish the week into those. I think I'm just going to drop a Huntmaster and pass. Get some chunky blockers for this invasion of Mercadia. There's a Halo Hopper to convoke out with the 1/1s. Ooh, there's a Sheoldred to play for us. We have the 5th mana for her. Probably on Vanquish the week and sack something to Huntmaster if I need to. I could also just play Stormclaw Rager and still have Huntmaster sack. Sure. Probably don't need to Vanquish the week here. I can just block the 3/2 with a 2/2 and block everything else. 3rd mana, Skittering Surveyor. Gonna grab their 2nd color. Yep, another blue-red Convoke deck. Hopefully not as explosive as the last one. I mean, they didn't put the rare blue invasion on us, so not going to be as explosive, that's for sure. Could sack the frontliner, but I think I'd rather keep that creature count high for now. Just drop a Sheoldred now. They have to sack their Skittering Surveyor. We fill up their grave with 8 cards. We get to flip this thing. And until then, we just get to keep attacking in, and because she has Menace, then we get to blow up like a blocker if they ever try to double block. Make blocks just pretty horrible for them if they don't just have a straight-up targeted removal to kill Sheoldred. Stoke the Flames, the Rager? Sure. I guess I'll hit for a ton. I could hit for a ton, but then I'm not protecting this invasion of Mercadia. Only hit for 4. Yeah, I guess I'll just protect the invasion. Never mind. Convoke stuff legitimately seems like the strongest archetype. I know I've just played 2 games against Convoke in a row, but this is absurd. I'm playing a Mythic Rare and I feel like I'm miles behind with a very reasonable looking deck. Yeah, we're probably on Derision. Here's that Storm Sculptor. Guess I can Vanquish the weak on it. I definitely have to Derision the Flyer. I'm not going to play a 5/5 here, I'm going to Vanquish the weak. Oh, there's a Yuri. They have 5 out of 8 cards engraved for Sheoldred. We might stop attacking with Sheoldred. They have 5 out of 8 cards now. I can discard a card, make 2 1/1s, and give the whole board +1/+0 haste? Okay, this card's actually insane. This Flamerite? I might need to kill the Flamerite instead of the Storm Sculptor. Do it while they're tapped out so they can't give it +1/+0 to survive this? Yeah. That's pretty horrific for me. Six out of 8 cards for Sheoldred. No! Why is it the exact same deck? Why is it the exact same deck? They have the Invasion of Segovia again. Now they have a flyer to chip at that, to chip away at it. I don't know what you're supposed to do against this deck. Non-sideboarded. There's like one double black card to give everything -2/-2. Alright, that's not that bad right now. I guess I could sack Yuri to shoot the flyer for 2 now. Probably what we're doing. Puts them to 7 cards in grave. Still need to get 1 more in their grave after that. Alright, Hanger Scrounger. Seems fine. War Trained Slasher. I can play that and still flip a incubate token if I need to and still have the mana to sack some stuff. If that ends up being the case. I think I'm getting pretty close to turning things around. I mean, definitely if they play another instant or sorcery to have another card in grave, we can just Shieldred things around. But I'm almost at enough creatures to attack in and just get something into their graveyard off the attack. I can only attack them with a 4-power creature, so I have to send in the Slasher here. See if I can get one of their cards to die. Or just deal 4. Just deal 4 it is. Timret's pretty bad with Shieldred. Probably tap out for the Charger. No, I think I just don't activate Timmeret. I don't want to tap out with 2 Hunt Masters on board. Okay. Now I can still play a Charger and hold up 1 Hunt Master ability. Alright, I'll try to kill the Storm Sculptor. Eight cards in grave, try to flip Shieldred. 6 damage to Shieldred. It's fair. It's only a sorcery speed ability, so I couldn't have played around that. Instant speed removal would get Shieldred regardless. Yeah, sure. Oh, these make a permanent Ragavan? Oh, that's kind of crazy. I did not know they made a permanent Ragavan. Harried Artisan. We found a flyer. Flying Haste as well. Start poking with that. Three more hits from lethal. Marauding Dreadship. Not great, not terrible. Okay, and there's the removal for the flyer. And they can discard a card and draw a card off of the Scrounger. Invasion of Kaladesh. They get a 1/1 flyer to start chipping at the battles with. Might as well upgrade my 2 to a 3. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, I'm getting close, I guess. Send a 5/5 in at least. Block with a 4/3 and a 1/1. Whittles things down. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 attackers. 5, 6, 7, 10, 11 blockers. I think it's fine. Why don't we just kill the Baral and carry Zev then? Oh my god. 2 more 1/1s. There's a great sword. There's an equipment for Valduk. It's quite a strong one. Wrong creature. Let's do that one. I think. Slap it on Valduk. Crew a Dreadship. We go 1, 2, 7, 8, 9 attackers. 5, 6, 7, 10, 12. Oh my god. I mean, I think now that they don't have first strike, this is fine. And then we just keep moving the equipment around after this. This is all trample, so they've got to block quite a bit of it to stay safe. Greatsword is the perfect draw in this matchup. Trample is so important. Alright, go to 1. Last turn. They're gonna get their 3/3 that untaps all their dorks. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 toughness. They would have to block the Dreadship with 7 toughness, which would leave them 7 blockers left. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. This math is too much. Too much nonsense going on. I think I crew and equip here. And just send in the squad. If I die at this point, honestly. It's too much. I'm playing Rakdos Sack. Why are my games going to 20 turns? I would like to not do that. Oh no, they're just gonna bounce my dread ship. Gonna blow up my equipment. That's a big yikes. They are targeting the equipment, correct? It looks like they are. Well, that makes this attack significantly worse, but still probably okay, because I'm sending 5 3/3s in. But my 2/2 trample does just straight up die to the 3/3. I guess I could sack it. Yeah, double Huntmaster has kind of just been the sickness right now. Just really necessary to grinding out this game. Saving me from these just random bad block situations like this, or bad block positions. Not saving me, but making sure I retain the same number of creatures more easily. Like, I'm not just losing my 2/2 for nothing now, I can just turn it into a 3/3. Alright. I mean, we are turning the corner. They've got 4 creatures left now against a ton of ours. Try to flip the invasion of Kaladesh. Send a couple damage at me. Let's flip some incubators. Might as well get my blocks in. Send in the squad. That was a long battle. I think their deck was very, very good, but we drew all of our best pieces for grinding out a long game. And that was certainly a long game. That was only game number 2. We are 1-1 now as we move into game 3. Alright, here we are on the play for game 3. Got a 2-drop into a 3-mana haste card. That feels like a good curve. Frontliner into Artisan there. Feels pretty exciting. I'm gonna go for it. Our opponent is on green. Don't know what their second color is yet. I don't think you're gonna see a lot of monocolor decks in this format. There's a lot of multicolored splashy stuff. So I think the safest decks are gonna be just like 2-color. So there's Blighted Burgeoning, which gives them Incubator token. So they do have another creature, just not immediately. Could flip the Artisan. I think I'd rather keep playing more creatures right now, especially when Huntmaster gives me a way to sack their creature to Furnace Rains if I steal a creature later, which is super valuable. So they're already down to 12, and they've got to make sure they're getting something to block with. So they're going to go for Invasion of Mercadia to discard a card and draw 2. They still have the 2 mana up to flip their Incubator token to at least have a 2/2 blocker. But we could just attack in with a couple 2/3s if they just hold that up. Play another land. If they play another creature, I will happily just hit them with it. Ooh, Invasion of Regatha, really good here. It's going to flip their Invasion of Mercadia and deal a damage to one of my creatures. That part doesn't matter, but flipping the battle is big. I think it's one that flips into a creature. Yeah, thank goodness. So I can just steal that creature and hit them with it here, which I would say is pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not lethal. So I would rather be able to sacrifice their creature than hit them for a little more damage. And I still have the 2 mana up to flip this incubator token. That's really nice. Because their thing made a treasure token when it hit? How did that? Oh, because the furnace rains. I completely forgot that it makes the treasure token when you hit them with the creature. It's just straight up a better active treason. Yeah, that's really good. We'll see if they find a way to stabilize here, but this is what I was thinking when I built this deck. Although I guess I was kind of thinking in Magical Christmas Land because they didn't play any creatures till turn 4, so I was thinking, hey, maybe we'll run into some players that'll get some slower draws and not be able to play any creatures till turn 4, and then, then will our deck look aggressive. So they don't fully kill Invasion of Regatha, right? Yeah, they're just going to scoop it up. And say they deal 4 to it, so I think I just let it happen. If they were threatening it for 5, I could flip the incubator and get a chump in there. They'd still trample over for a little bit, but they wouldn't fully flip it. But I'm pretty sure they were only hitting for 4 out of 5, so they are just going to scoop them up there. We had a real aggressive start. They had a pretty slow start, so it's just not going to pair up well for them, and we are 2-1 heading into round number 4. All right, here we are for game 4. Not a super keepable hand. Nothing is castable right now. I need double black for Timuret. I do need 1 land for all of these cards, but it could be any land. Makes it not the worst keep in the world. I could Mountain Cycle this, I guess, to play these on 3. But I really don't like having the double black card as well here. I take the mulligan. This is a worse hand, but I will keep this one. We're guaranteed to play all these cards. Okay, I think Furnace Gremlin just gets better later. We'll just play the reinforcements first. Mono green so far from our opponent. And a Herbology Instructor is the play. Super nice against aggro. Gains them some life and gives them a 3 toughness blocker. That is gonna put us... gonna stop us dead in our tracks, I should say. Could play Huntmaster, start slowly turning these 1/1s into 3/3s, or I could play Artisan and I can flip it into a flyer next turn and keep actually getting some damage in. We'll start actually getting some damage in. I think I'd rather do that. Another Herbology Instructor. Those are going to be really good this game. If they make it to 6 mana, they just start ripping our board apart. Yeah, that is real threatening. I'm gonna flip this Artisan. Ship in for damage while I can. Stormclaw Rager's an exciting draw, because I could play that and just start drawing cards off of these 1/1 tokens. Knight Errant of Eos. If it's top 6 cards of your library, reveal up to 2 creatures with mana value X or less, where X is the number of creatures that convoked it, which is just 2, so this is just a 4/4. They just missed. Alright. Not bad for me then. Let's hit for 3. I like this greatsword, but I think I'd rather start drawing some Rager cards. And that's a sorcery. Okay, find another land. I could just draw both the cards and then the instructors aren't big enough to kill any of my cards on board. Kind of okay with that. Aw, we drew the Yuri after we sacrificed everything. You would have been so big. You'd have been such a big boy. Sad. Great. Now our 4/4 gets Cosmic Hungered. Oh. Kept the Cosmic Hunger off of our flyer at least, but pretty far behind in life total, and now they have the perfect sack fodder for Shieldred. Not the greatest timing, Shieldred. I do appreciate the sentiment, though. I guess we're blocking. Just gonna give them more time to find a better Herbology Instructor flip. Yep, that is the 5th of 6 mana to flip an Instructor. Well, that's pretty nasty. Good removal is good. play Yuri and hold all the mana up for my abilities to make it really hard for them to attack in well or get a great Herbology Instructor flip. Never mind. Chomping Kavu can shut off blocks pretty well. Make it so the creature can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Could block with my 3/3, but that's not going to matter if they're going to buff the 5/5. Yeah, I mean, I'll just take it. Six mana. This one any player sacks? Whenever I sack, so it doesn't count Shieldred. Again, if I play Shieldred, they're gonna sack Rottentail and make the Kavu even bigger. Kinda need the mana up to make another 3/3 wherever I need it, however I want it. Flip the Herbology Instructor, give the Gremlin -0, -3. I guess I just sack that then. I'll have I'll have 4 blockers up against 5 creatures. It's good enough to live a turn. Okay, they're gonna pass turn here. Can't gain any life because there's no creatures in graves. I guess I could exile from my own grave, can I? Yes. Gain 2. Probably better to just flip this. Okay. 7 mana. Now I can play Shieldred and still sack Yuri or flip this token. So we'll play Shieldred, kill their Rottentail. Hold up as many blockers as I can. Pass the turn. Seal from existence. Goodbye, Shieldred. If that's the case, I think I can sack Shieldred here. They don't have the mana to flip the Herbology Instructor. So I don't need to be able to sack Yuri in response to kill it before it flips. Unless their final card in hand can find lethal. Okay, buff the Kavu. I can just double block with 2 3/3s, and that'll be fine. Yeah, so no attacks. 5 mana for Greatsword. I still have the 1 mana to sack something and the 2 to flip one of my tokens. I guess that means I don't put Greatsword on anything yet. I just hold my 3 up. Now I'm very free to start exiling cards from Graveyard for Timuret to gain life, because I don't need creatures to still be in grave for the back half of Shieldred. Do I sack Yuri? I think I do, because if I don't sack Yuri, they're going to kill Huntmaster here. So now I kill the Instructor before it can flip. I think I can kill it after it flips, but either way it's going to be the same result. This is not a great attack for them if they don't have a 1 mana trick. Got every block loaded up, then I'll just have a board state and they won't afterwards. They might just be getting fed up with my nonsense. I'm gonna hope that's what it is. But, yeah. I mean... I guess I do have to chump somewhere here. But this is still, I think, good for me. Overall. Plus Timberit's gone, so I don't gain any life. Drawn to a final flourish. That feels great. Rende, a little double striker, that's fair, I can flourish that away. Serpent Blade is silent. Give the Knight Errant Death Touch and +1/+1 this turn. It's already going to trade into 2 3/3s. So I want to trade it into Final Flourish and an Incubator, or just trade it into 2 3/3s. I think I'd rather just trade into 2 3/3s. Honestly. Keep the Final Flourish to get rid of the double strike thing. God, and we draw Stoke the Flames too. I think that's lethal, right? They block Huntmaster, take 6, take 4 from Stoke the Flames? Yeah. Or they block the Trample and take well over lethal. These Huntmasters are insane. Absolute MVP so far. They've been so good in games like this. There's the Stoke the Flames for lethal. We're now 3-1, heading into round number 5. Here we are for game 5 against one of the Lords of Limited, Mr. Metronome himself. Very nice limited podcast if you're interested in a podcast discussing draft as a format. It's really nice and very informative. Highly recommend it. It's not a super keepable opener. We'll take the mulligan here. This isn't much better, but it is better. I think I get rid of Furnace Rains with no sack outlets. I like reinforcements into Stoke the Flames. That's pretty nice. And there's a Stormclaw Rager as well to go with the reinforcements. So Metronome's on green, white, black here. We did hit our 3rd land, which is super important to this hand. So we are going to be in the game. Mutagen Connoisseur 0/5 gets bigger based on the number of transformed permanents that they have. Alright. The only way I can hold up a Stoke the Flames here is by playing Furnace Gremlin, and I'm very tempted to hold up Stoke the Flames in case something weird happens. So I'm just going to play a Furnace Gremlin and pass. Because this Botanic Brawler can get super massive out of nowhere, depending on what happens here. Invasion of Mog. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Enters battlefield with 2 when you put 1 or more counters on another permanent. It's the first time you put a +1/+1 counter on this. So this will be a 4/4. I think I can still stoke it after that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I held up Stoke, because otherwise Invasion was about to take 1,000,000 damage. Alright, 1 damage to the Invasion. What happens when it flips? A 3/3 Ward 2 that puts a +1/+1 counter on one of their creatures. Every one of their end steps. That's a real good card to flip into. Now they have a 1/6 Connoisseur. I'm never getting through that. Probably need to set up the card draw to find the second black for Derision. Let's play the Rager. We're kind of just walled off by this 1/6. Yep. Keep poking the invasion. Now a Wildwood Escort, a 3/3 that picks up their other creature. It's fine. Find the Black Source to kill the Connoisseur now. Theoretically have the blockers on board for anything else they do, so if we just kill the flyer, we can start trying to lock up the board state. Invasion of Zendikar. Get a couple lands into play. It's a pretty easy to kill battle. It starts with 3 defense. Turns into a 4/4 Vigilance Haste. They managed to kill that. They've got the 2 mana up to still play the token card. Alright, I'm just going to Derision this Connoisseur now. And here comes the Brawler, just a 2/2 right now. Drawn to a Thrashing Frontliner. Saxon. Creature or an artifact. I could sack the treasure to this Rager. Kind of want to hold the treasure up for this Thrill Seeker if I don't hit another land, so I'm going to sack a 1/1 here, but I think I am drawing a card right now. I guess I could just play Thrill Seeker and pass. Oh, you know what I could do? I don't even know if this is worth it. It's probably Fancy Play Syndrome. I mean, I think they just block the Gremlin, but I can use its ability now. Sack it. Kill the Brawler. Yeah, I think this is more fancy than it is good. But I think it's fine there. Got plenty of ground blockers to just chump if they try to get the one of these battles killed. Intercessor's fine. Shut off the Rager. Make a chump block, then I've got a 3/3 coming up. Okay, gain a life. Love to have seen another mana here. So I could play Huntmaster and flip the Incubator without sacking a treasure. I guess I can play Frontliner and flip the Incubator without sacking a treasure, which might be where I'm at. I think that is. Yeah, we have blocks lined up. If Mr. Metronome draws dead here, then he can't attack any of these battles. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna flip the Incubator. Go for the 1/1. And it will happen. And it'll go to our turn. There we go. Now I can Huntmaster, holding up Thrill Seeker's ability, and we try to take over the game with the Huntmaster. Invasion of Dominaria, so he's going to gain 4 life, draw a card. Solid stuff. Lay a land out. Pass. Harried Artisan. Sure. Lay it out, pass the turn. This 3/4 Alabaster Host has been quite the brick wall for Mr. Metronome. There's a Monastery Mentor. We need to find a way to kill that ASAP, or every time he casts a non-creature spell, he gets a 1/1 monk. It's pretty horrifying. Actually think the treasure is more valuable than the 1/1 right now, potentially. Drop a 5/5 down now. Kill it with a double block. I still have blockers afterward. But if he goes for the double block, I'm going to kill the Intercessor and get my Stormclaw back. Alright, hit for 5 and pass. Overgrown Pest, great value play. 2/2 and it picks up a battle or a double-faced creature or a land from the top 5 cards of Metronome's library. Hopefully not a battle. That would trigger Monastery Mentor and be significantly more valuable than a land. Well, still significantly more valuable than a land, but not the end of the world. It's just a beefy 5/5. Okay, that's actually really bad. Never mind. It's a 5/5 that makes another one of Metronome's creatures a 5/5 every time it attacks, so it can attack alongside the Pest, and Metronome is basically attacking with 2 5/5s if that happens. So that's not good. Now I have to just hold up blocks and get back on the Mega Huntmaster game plan. Could probably flip Artisan soon. Maybe I could have even flipped it that turn, but I want to have a million blockers here. Alright, let's set up the best blocks we can. Seems fine. Finn the Fangbearer. That'll trade into one of our 3/3s. Sure. Drawn to another land. Do you think I'm chipping in here? Flywheel Racer triggers the Monastery Mentor. Isn't good for us. The rest of it isn't that scary. But it is a 3-power creature which trades into 3/3 tokens. If Mr. Mentor has, or Mr. Metronome, not Mr. Mentor, has a combat trick, he wins this fight. I guess I can put a frontliner under the bus too. But then it goes really bad if he's got a combat trick. Huntmaster makes it so even if he has a combat trick, I can just replace the Phyrexian, so I'm just going to go for the 1 block. Alright, that's fine. Just upgrade my 2/2 into a 3/3 here while I'm chilling. Another Huntmaster? Alright. I guess so. We start looping chump blocks. Chump block and then make a new incubator over and over. Whoa. That's pretty crazy. I guess if there's a combat trick, Finn could kill an invasion by himself, but I think I'm going to let Finn through to get the kill on Intercessor if possible. Never mind. If Intercessor doesn't attack, then we can make things nice and simple here. We can go Tradesy, loop a block on Finn. I think I'd rather get another 3/3 than kill Metronome's 1/1. Buff the Flywheel Racer, sure. Win that combat, but the counters are on the vehicle here. Four-turn clock for Mr. Metronome. I'd really like to hit a non-land, but I'm sure Metronome would like to as well. Although most of Metronome's lands have been tutored out. Well, a lot of them. 3 of them here. Crude Eraser. Yeah, that thing having 4 toughness is a big deal. Might have to lose the Sky Flare to double block it now. Get back into top deck mode. Would really, really, really rather not. Guess I block it with 6 toughness. Yeah, lose one of the 2 Hunt Masters. They're gonna let me keep both the Hunt Masters, that's fine. I'm gonna have to turn a Hunt Master into a 3/3. Just 100%. Invasion of Lorwyn. Destroy my Sky Flare? Well, I guess I have to sack that then instead. Because they can't kill the Hunt Masters because they're elves, which is hilarious. Alright, pass turn. Metronome's probably gonna lose it. That's a top deck. Alright, hit for 3. Gotta find removal here, we just hit for 3 again. I gotta say... Oh, that's actually kind of a big deal. I was gonna say, it does feel really good leaving your opponent's battles all stranded if you're in a position to do so. Yeah, Mr. Metronome just scoops them up. Nothing to deal with the flyer. And we could block to make sure they can't flip any of their battles that might make a reach defender, so that we are going to grind out the game there with those freaking sacrifice elves, those Hunt Masters. Absolute MVP, incredible card so far. We're now 4-1 heading into round 6. Here we are for game 6 with our Rakdos-Sakdos strategy. We definitely need to hit a mountain, but if we do, the hand is pretty sick. We know we play Timurid on 2. Definitely a risky one. How many mountains do I run in this deck? 8. A little under the 1 out of 3. It's going to take multiple draw steps on average. Yeah, it's probably not keepable. Alright, this is not much better. but I think it is better. Definitely more consistent. Like we know what we're going to be doing. Nothing super explosive, but some fine stuff. Get a Hunt Master on board and then just hold up some removal. Top deck Thrashing Frontliner was a great draw. Gets us started on turn 2 instead of turn 3. There's a Nezumi Informant. That's actually quite rough. Because I need all of these cards quite a bit. And cards like Informant are so devastating on a mulligan. If you're already behind, especially a mole on the play. Since we don't get to draw a card in our first draw step. Alright, curve out Frontliner into Huntmaster. Decided to keep the land. We know we can play the 3-drop. And then we drew our 4th land, so we know we can play Deadly Derision. Flitting Gorilla. Each player mills when it dies. You can exile it to put a creature battle from their grave on top of their library. That's not insane. I don't need to removal spell that or anything. I will send in my 2/2 though. If we trade, we trade. No trade occurs, so let's slam down a Furnace Gremlin. Pass the turn. Worst case scenario, the Gremlin is 2 different bodies for the Hunt Master, so we can turn it into 2 3/3s. Because we can turn this into a 3/3, then we can turn the other incubator it makes into a 3/3. It'll take time and mana to do that, but here's a thing we can do. Is it worth it right now? Just get a 3/3 and a 1/1 incubator? Yeah, I mean, it's not going to attack particularly well against this Death Toucher anyway, and it's going to take 2 mana to make it 3 power to make a 3/3 instead of a 1/1 incubator token, so I'm just going to crack it now. That hurts a little. I guess we can play Derision and use the treasure token to flip one of these incubators still, so I will play the land. I think I'm still sending Frontliner in. Okay, we are eventually going to trade into the flyer. Sure. I don't see a reason to turn it into a 3/3 when the 3/3 will just trade into the Death Toucher too. I'll just swap it out for the flyer. Milled some gas, which is awkward. That means the land percentage in our deck just went up because we milled 3 non-lands. Or is it 2 cards? Might have been just 2. Yeah, just 2 non-lands. I might have to Derision this Aetherblade Agent, because if it can keep hitting us and drawing cards, that'll be bad. I guess I can just trade a 3/3 into it, so we don't have to do that. Oh, I found my removal spell target. Recast anything with mana value 2 or less from their graveyard. Yeah, I'll kill Lyris, otherwise they can start trading these off aggressively and recasting them, which is just not good for me. Right, upgrade the 1/1 to a 3/3, and that's a good draw. I think I just save it, because my 3/3s already trade into these really easily. So I'll save Furnace Rains as another straight-up removal spell for whatever larger creatures they play later. There are definitely some big ones. Invasion of Olgrotha. Well, that's horrific. Huntmaster's a goner. Which means... yes, I do crack the treasure. So at least I have 3 3/3s. I mean, they'll have to trade their Death Toucher into a 3/3 eventually, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were okay with just attacking there. I only have 1 more sack outlet in the deck because they milled my Stormclaw. No. Right when I sacked the treasure, I draw the 1/6 mana card again. That's obviously not ideal. I don't think I Mountain Cycle it. Do I attack in here? That seems fine. I guess they could have haste, which would be bad for me. But realistically, we're probably just trading into the Death Toucher, hitting for 3, and then still having a blocker up, which looks to be what's happening. They are green-black, so the odds of haste are pretty low. Tribute to the World Tree. When creatures enter the battlefield under their control, they draw a card if they're small creatures. No, they draw a card if they're big, and they put counters on them if they're small. That is really good. Because now this Ichor Drinker is a 1-mana 3/3 lifelinker. At least they don't draw a card when they incubate with it, or put any extra counters on it when they incubate. Yeah, that's going to be quite the value engine. Even if it's just buffing up their cards. Alright, we hit the land for the 5/5. Do I just take trades? I think I do. Send in the 5/5. They can't block it well. I want to pressure their life with Furnace Rains. Although I guess with the lifelinker, we're not pressuring their life total that much. They have removal for Charger. Yeah, kind of. It's still on board. But it's not good anymore. Ooh, Thrill Seeker. What a draw. Wow, what a draw. So, if my opponent has some next level reads here, they can ruin this play from me. Yeah, I'll attack with everybody. That way they very obviously just trade into Charger. Because I need the treasure token for this to work how I want it to. Yeah. Yes. Alright, and now they're just dead. Because they don't draw any cards, they just surveil. Now I can use the treasure from the drinker to pay for the Thrill Seeker sack. And I can even sack their own drinker against them. There was probably another way to find lethal there that was more guaranteed, but this looked really cool to me, so I'm doing that. Alright. Probably some more fancy play syndrome there, but if it gets the job done, we are now 5-1, heading into round number 7 with this incredible Rakdos sack deck. It's been doing some absolute work. Yet again, the Huntmaster being an MVP. Here we are for round 7 against Legend VD, one of the largest Magic Arena YouTubers. Highly recommend his channel. Mostly does a lot of constructed brews, brawl brews, stuff like that, but he does play limited on occasion. And that is when I do stop by. Very chill, very cool vibes. He's on a Karuga deck, which is super fun. Always fun to draft a companion. This means he's not going to play anything till turn 3, guaranteed. So we just get as aggressive as we can, playing our haste card here. We've got to Stoke the Flames to back up all this aggression as well. Try to just beat him down for playing a deck with all mana value 3 or greater. If we don't beat him down, he's guaranteed to have bigger spells than us, as well as more card advantage, because Karuga can draw a bunch of cards when that dinosaur hippo hits the board. So here's Skittering Surveyor, which is only going to be a chump blocker, so nice that it's not something we have to Stoke the Flames or anything on. Nor do I have to Deadly Derision it, so I think I'm playing a Huntmaster. And sending the squad in and then passing, keeping all my removal. Down to 14. Four mana up for Legend now. Looks like blue, white, and black is the color trio, so just playing the Karuga with double blue and 3, rather than using any green mana. No plays here. That's definitely an instant of some kind, so I'm going to hold up all 3 of my removal spells as I move into combat. But I think I am going to send in the entire squad. But we know that Legend has an instant here, because otherwise he could have just put Karuga in his hand for 3 mana. Gotten that out of the way, if he had nothing better to do with his mana. So it's an Afara's Dispersal, return an attacking creature back to our hand. Okay, and then I can recast it, that's fine. Legend gets to surveil 2, set up his next draws. Okay, we're just dealing 4. There's a skittering surveyor chump gonna happen. Chump on the artisan. Sure. Cool. Post-combat, Hunt Master pass. We'll see what Legend's got. Looks like just the bounce spell there. So we do get to resolve our Hunt Master, and now at 5 mana, Sudden Fall. Well, that's horrific, obviously. Incredible board wipe, and we have no more creatures to play. Pretty quick way to lose a game of Limited, is to get board wiped. And we just did. Legend's got 6 more cards in hand now to play around with. Karuga to draw more cards after he plays some other permanents. A 3/3 to start beating us down with. A Jin-Gitaxias on board. Well, alright then. Non-creature spells with mana value with 3 or greater, let him draw cards. I guess I have to sack my Greatsword. I can't use Deadly Derision because I won't be able to pay for the ward. So, Legend has a Sunfall, a Jin-Gitaxias, a Karuga, and God knows what else. So, it's gonna be an uphill battle. I don't know how we win this matchup, but I'll try. Legend is down to 12. That's a start. With Stoke the Flames, that's sort of like being down to 8. There's an Inga Rune Eyes now to scry 3, set up some draws. Get a 3/3 onto the board. So Legend has 2 3/3s out with the Incubator token and the Inga. Scry 1 to the top and 2 to the bottom. And put Karuga in hand. Well, there's a Beamtown Beatstick with no creatures on board, and I'll pass. Probably going to vanquish Inga in response to Legend casting Karuga. Oh my god, oh. Well, don't know if there was a way to get through Sunfall, Jin-Gitaxias, Karuga, and Hoarding Broodlord. The amount of bomb rares expands. Not only are they all rares, they're all pretty much bombs. Hoarding Broodlord also tutors for any card from Legend's library. Puts it in his hand. So if Legend has another bomb rare, I think we're about to see it. Yep. I guess that's what happens when there are 4 slots in each booster pack that could be a rare. The double-faced, the battle, the Multiverse Legend, and the regular rare slot. Well, this video is definitely going up on Legend's channel, I can tell you that for sure. If Legend ends a draft with literal 6 bombs. That's probably the most entertaining draft to show off. Oh, good grief. Even if I kill Hidetsugu, Legend drains me for life. Valduk is pretty significant here. Actually, and I guess I don't actually get in with this token because Hidetsugu and Kairi are too high toughness. But Valduk is maybe threatening if Legend doesn't have removal in hand. Alright, well, there's the Seal from Existence for Valduk. Now I'll take 8. There's the Karuga to draw 2. I think the saddest part about this game is I don't think anything Legend played after the board wipe was really necessary. Legend could have just followed the board wipe up with whatever commons and uncommons. But he hit us with the old oops, all rares, and we are going to be destroyed. That was not really winnable, I think. But I did my best. We're 5-2 heading into round 8. Here we are for round 8 against Mani Devuti. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Mani's part of the production team for Magic Arena. One of the commentators during all of the big official tournaments, or I guess just for Magic in general, for the Pro Tours and all of that. It's very cool. Alright, let's just get aggro. Slam in for 4 damage on turn 3. Alright, I'm just going to scoop him up and we will move on to the final boss. We're going to be 6-2 now. Must have been a 2-lander, did not draw the 3rd, and just ran up against aggro, so we will absolutely crush there. 6-2, heading into the final boss with this deck. I'm happy to be here. Whatever happens now, it's been a great deck, it's been a great run. We've seen some crazy stuff happen both on our board and our opponent's board. Let's get into that final game of Magic and see how it all ends. Here we are for the final round with a ton of cards that make multiple rectangles. Ral's Reinforcements makes 2, Dreadship makes 2, and the Huntmaster is a great way to use those rectangles. So, very excited to keep this hand. We are on the draw. So it won't be the most aggressive thing in the universe, although I can hit for 4 damage on our turn 3 if they don't play a creature out. If they do, I'm probably not going to want to send a 1 toughness Dreadship in. And most likely they'll have something out by their turn 3. Nezumi Informant, god dang it. Getting real tired of you. Nezumi Informant, it's really good against my 4-1 as well. I think we just drop a land, probably a mountain, because we're going to have 2 elementals to help cast Stoke the Flames. Okay. I guess a 1-2 is better than 1-1s against this, but I think I still want the 1-1s. I want to go wide. Make Stoke the Flames more easily castable, more easy to hold it up. To respond to whatever they're doing. There's a Phyrexian Awakening. Very big. Makes a 4/4 Vigilant Incubator token. I could hold up a Stoke the Flames if I play my 2-mana creature. I don't get to hold up a Final Flourish, but I do like holding up Stoke the Flames quite a bit. So let's just hold it up here. Yep, flip the Incubator. Send it in, and let's try to Stoke. It is going to resolve. We'll get that 4/4 out of here. Their Phyrexians still have Vigilance, so they still get value off the Awakening. But they don't get the thing anymore. Alright, so they're going to get a counter on Informant and have a Berserker they can sack to draw a card. Well, now that Informant has a counter on it, trading the 4/1 into a 2/2 isn't as bad as trading it into a 1/1, so... yeah, I'll just trade a Dreadship off now. Now that the Informant's a little more valuable to them. I mean, I guess they could just chump block with Berserker if they were going to sack it to draw a card anyway. Which they probably were, seeing as it's a 0/1, so that's what they're going to do. Fair enough. Sack it to draw a card. Send in for 2, you got it. Down to 18. They land an Etched Familiar. When it dies, we lose 2 life and they gain 2. Solid card. Kind of want to hold on to Flourish in case they play something scarier. Just flip my incubator here to crew the dread ship. Or no, I kind of want to attack with it. Crew dread ship with 2 1/1s. Yeah. Send in these two. Offer these trades. And then I'm holding up a gremlin to block the informant, trade into it, and get another incubator token. Got a lot of 2-for-1s hanging out, which is really, really nice. Being able to trade just the dread ship into that, and then still have a 2/2 incubator that it made. Being able to trade gremlin into something and still have a leftover incubator token. All that kind of stuff is going to be great here. Okay, it's going to go to our turn. Still think I'm holding Final Flourish. Another land. I can hold up the 2 mana for the Final Flourish and still play Huntmaster or Artisan. I think I'd rather play Huntmaster because I could buff Gremlin and still do Huntmaster here. Plus Huntmaster is just really good with these 1/1s. And with Gremlin, Huntmaster is just an absurd card. I think that's what we've learned today more than anything. Completed Huntmaster is an S tier. Uncommon. A+, absolute greatest. Very high pick uncommon for this archetype. Alright. Trade our 2/2 on the ground into the 2/2 in the sky. We'll Swamp Cycle the Gloomfang Mauler so they can put it back in their hand when this dies. Fair enough. Drop our completed Huntmaster and pass the turn. It's a 6/6. It's going to be a 7/7 if they put the counters on itself, which I cannot deal with. If they put the counters on Informant, then I can deal with it. And they do put the counters on Informant. You love to see it. I think I'll take the 4. Sack the Gremlin, just immediately replace it. Oh wow, got another Artisan. Yeah, we're getting in there. I think I'd rather flip this than make another 3/3 weirdly. Just have a chump blocker. Or another 1/1 to send in. Just go for immediate damage. I'm at 12. I'll take 4. Skittering Surveyor. Alright. 1/2, grab a land. Now we've got another 1/1. Oh my god, Shieldred. Well, that seems a little better than playing an Artisan. If they sack Surveyor, they have no blockers up, so we play Shieldred pre-combat. Send in everybody, because we have a 4/5 to block the 4/4. They've got a combat trick, that's fine. I still win the game without Shieldred on board. Alright, send a message. They're very dead on board, but Shieldred's gone now. They would have been very dead on board either way, so this way sends a message. Ooh, Luris. Oh my god. Top deck Luris with the draw card removal gives them a shot here. Huntmaster means we still win. If they don't immediately top deck more great stuff. Because I can block Luris and sack the creature in response so they don't gain any life. So you kill them in 3 attacks here. Guess they can loot Blade Blesser from their grave. What a just profound sequence of draws from our opponents. the Mirrodin Avenged off the top to kill the Shieldred, and then top deck the Lurrus exactly to replay Informant, make me discard my last card. That's actually insane. Playing empty-handed the whole time. What is going on? Into flying first strike lifelink on whatever creature they want. Cool. I guess I lose then? Well, did not think I was going to lose to Mirrodin Avenged today, but it certainly happened. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing you could say there. They could not have stacked their deck better. I don't think... Obviously, I could have not blocked, but then, like, the odds of them hitting this sequence of cards to completely destroy me, probably less likely that they did all this than they just had some way to give it +4/+4 if I didn't block. So, I mean, I guess I could have held up a 1/1 and went for a chump there. I still think this was just a major variance L for me. Actually, just an insane sequence of draws from our opponent. And now they can just deal 3 damage to my face. Good God. Okay. I'm glad this is the early access event, because that's how I didn't get a 7-win run on my personal account. If I just lost 400 gems to that occurrence, I think I'd be tilted through the roof, because I am still a little salty about that. That was wild. I'm more dumbfounded than anything. I'm just amazed at that sequence of events there. Well, I guess that's how it ends. Still feels like a 7-win run, because that feels like the literal actual 1 in a million game where we see our opponent draw those cards and have that spell right there. Yeah, I'm in disbelief. This is not that universe. That never happened. That was a glitch in the Matrix. So we are 6-3 to end this run off, which is still a phenomenal run. I think this deck played incredibly. There's some huge overperformers here. These completed Hunt Masters, I already thought they were going to be great, but they were absolutely absurd. They were our biggest MVP the entire time, and that's kind of our biggest learning point here, is that these cards are incredible. They're going really high up in my pick order. Shieldred was great. Stoke the Flames was great. I guess the other thing that we learned, this was both from what we did and what our opponents did, is that this is an incredibly swingy format. Incredibly impactful plays that can come out of nowhere. So maybe this is a format where you do take it as patiently, as defensively as possible, and you do leave the 1/1s up in that final game that we lost there, because our final 2 losses were to just like 60 rares in a row, 5 from Legend, and then like 4 in a row from our last round opponent. Not 4 in a row. It was 2 really good ones, exactly correctly timed. Lurrus into the big lifelinking Angel, but still really high impact, really swingy plays there. So yeah, I mean, if I just held up a block or played the last game more conservatively, we would have found the victory there, but I'm fine with how I played that game. I think, again, it was so unlikely to see that kind of stuff, and especially for being brand new to the format, I'm not going to play around really narrow stuff like that. So maybe in the future, as I get more experience with the format, maybe it is a format where it's correct to, again, just always hold up like the 1/1 and make those little blocks like that. Never block with the Shieldred there. I can't, there's no, alright. I'm not going to dwell on it anymore. But I'm just thinking that was like the only card that could have punished me that hard. Because if it was any other -2/-2 or extra damage spell or anything, they wouldn't have drawn another card, and they had just top decked it that turn. So like, if I block with Shieldred and they kill Shieldred, it's whatever, I just kill them on the crackback. They need something that specifically kills Shieldred if I block with it and draws them a card, which means that that was the literal only card in the whole set that punishes me for the block that I made there. And not only did they have to have that, but they had to have something insane, like a lifelinker that also let them recast another creature from grave so they could play 3 cards in 1 turn on the last turn. There we go. I got my whole spiel out of the way. I genuinely, I can't believe it. The spiel's done. We're over it now, but that was insane. So those were the overperformers, underperformers. That was the final look at the deck. But that's going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons very much for supporting this channel, and thank you for watching. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, just like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feeds. If you'd like to hang out with me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. Other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.